G'day everyone, Eric here. So as I finished up that video on Rodimus Prime, link is on the screen now, it's essential viewing for this video, I kind of noticed that there was a lot of other stuff I wanted to discuss regarding the character, or dwell on a couple of points in how this character fits into things now. This is a non-scripted video, so bear with me. But we'll talk a little bit about Hot Rod, then we'll talk a little bit about Rodimus Prime. So let's start with Hot Rod. Hot Rod doesn't really fit into the franchise anymore. And there's two very important reasons why. And I pointed this out at the end of the video. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Optimus Prime, he has the same deco. You don't really want two toys in the same assortment of the same color. You don't want two characters in the same show that kind of look alike, because they're hard to distinguish. We're still presuming that kids are asking for toys, and when a kid asks for the red one, which one do they mean, Optimus or Hot Rod? I don't know, and that's the problem. That's why you can't use Hot Rod and Optimus Prime on the same team. As far as Bumblebee goes, the original G1 Bumblebee is basically a character from the Andy Griffith Show or My Three Sons. It's very antiquated. Burt Ward from Batman, Robin, would also be a good comparison. Very, very old-fashioned all-American boy. But as things have changed, he's essentially become Hot Rod. He's become spunkier, a bit of an attitude, but still good-natured and well-meaning. That's kind of the problem. Hot Rod has no place in a team with Optimus Prime. Hot Rod is basically replaced by Bumblebee. Bumblebee doesn't exist anymore. Hot Rod inhabits his body. And that's where Hot Rod lives today. Hot Rod did turn up in a couple of series. Cyberverse uses him, but from my recollection, I've only watched that series as background noise. It's really hard to pay attention to, but from what I remember, it's not really G1 Hot Rod in execution. It's not recognizably the same character. It's Hot Rod in name only, and, well, name and appearance, not really personality. And that's even more so for Rodimus in Energon, who's even less like Hot Rod, which makes sense. Hot Rod and / Rodimus are also tertiary characters in both these series. For Cyberverse, I think that's more because he clashes with Windblade, who is a main character. If I remember correctly, Optimus isn't too prominent in Cyberverse. It's more a Bumblebee-centric series. And, of course, we have the fact that Bumblebee is a really, really popular character thanks to the 2007 film. While I love my G2 Bumblebee, I've, like most people, had a Bumblebee as a kid. That's, I said, most people for G1 and G2, and probably more recent series. I'm not sure the character was quite as important or prevalent or just really there as he was post-2007. This has made Transformers have 4 core characters: Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Megatron, and Starscream. Back in the day, it used to just be Optimus Prime and Megatron. You couldn't escape it. Even when you adapted a series, localized a series that wasn't really Optimus Prime and Megatron, Fire Convoy and Gigatron, they still became Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're better or worse. Depends on how you want to take that series. But where does that leave Hot Rod? Bumblebee is the same guy. What do you do with him? That's the issue. See, I'm of two minds with this. First mind, I wonder if you could get away with just not using Bumblebee and using Hot Rod instead. Now, the deco thing comes up, but I have an answer for that too. I'll have a picture on screen in a sec, but there is a Transformers Collectors Club exclusive redeco of Classics Rodimus, because back then Rodimus was called Hot Rod, in sideburn colors. So he's blue and white. Very cold color scheme, but still very cool. Still the flame deco. Works brilliantly on the mold. It's a beautiful thing. I'd love to see this toy as a Generation Select with that redeco. Hasbro, make it happen. And hey, make that the first time you use Firebolt too. I think that's Hot Rod's Target Master. But yeah, beautiful color scheme, beautiful toy. And if you made Hot Rod blue, which remember Hot Shot's also been blue, while also an homage to Hot Rod in Cybertron, I think you could use Hot Rod that way. I don't think you'd take too much away from Hot Rod by making him blue. But there's also redeco potential. 11th hour, Optimus down for the count or whatever, or dead, doesn't matter. Optimus Prime dies from feathers. He's not a very sturdy robot. Well, that's why the joke was for a while. But yeah, down for the count. You have when he gets the Matrix, because you still want to follow that character archetype, that character storyline. That's when you have him become the normal color Hot Rod. This one. That's how I'd handle that. And then over the course of time from getting this deco to becoming the Autobot leader, he gradually becomes Rodimus Prime. That's one way I would handle it. I think one of the main problems with Transformers the movie is Hot Rod wasn't introduced earlier. It was just basically, here's the new guy. You gotta love him. Well, I did, but I didn't see Transformers the movie or G1 properly till my teens. I only saw bits and pieces of G2 as a kid. Not going to be the case for a lot of the 80s kids. They're just throwing, here's the new guy, you have to love him. If you don't, tough. This is the direction we're going. If he was introduced earlier on and it was set up that it was foreshadowed that he was going to take over, I think things probably would have went over a little bit better. And that's when you retire Optimus Prime. I don't know if you have to kill him. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But gradually ease into Rodimus Prime. The other thing that you could really do is, well, Bumblebee's changed characters before. Bumblebee, I should say, mouth's a little bit dry, as we know, became Goldbug in 1987. Hey, I'm a Goldbug. Nice little toy. I like Goldbug as a toy. I like the Throttlebots. I think they're called. I had Rollbar for a very, very long time. Just a rando toy I had. And then I got Goldbug at a collector fair. Nice little guy. Got a bag of old mini-bots. I think only one was broken. But anyway, got them dirt cheap too. But yeah, Bumblebee has become Goldbug before. He's also become Goldfire because Goldbug references being a beetle too much, and at that point in time, Bumblebee was a muscle car, and definitely Goldfire was. And Goldfire has Goldbug's head, so it's definitely Goldbug, but in a different form with a different name. We also have the fact that Armada Hotshot, who is very, very much a mishmash of Hot Rod and Bumblebee, eventually got Hot Rod's deco. And I think that is actually a way to handle it. Have him as Bumblebee, then have later on in the series when you do the super modes, because I'm still very toyetic in my views of things. I like things like working the redecos in as super modes or whatever. I think actually Armada handled that pretty well. Same with Energon, I think it did. But yeah, you have the 11th hour thing. Maybe Optimus becomes, I don't know, G2 Optimus, so he changes form and deco, so he becomes majority black. And have Bumblebee go change colors, and it's like, hey, I'm a Hot Rod now. Hey, I look like a Hot Rod now because he's got the flame deco. I don't know if that work on a traditional Bumblebee, but the sports car Bumblebee we have now probably would. Then gradually work in some storyline where he changes his form so you can have the proper Hot Rod body shape, or maybe like Robots in Disguise 2005 Bumblebee, have him kind of look like Hot Rod start with, because that toy has a lot of echoes of Hot Rod in it. Actually, it's one of the reasons I like that toy and design so much, because it looks so much like Hot Rod. It is the perfect merger of both characters. Um, I'd like a Generations version of that, actually, but maybe Deco to be a bit more Hot Rod referencey. Um, yeah, that's another way to handle it. And then have him as Hot Rod and Optimus Prime change. Then again, when Optimus Prime dies, have Hot Rod / Bumblebee, Hot Bee, whatever we want to call him, become Rodimus Prime, and then you gradually get to Rodimus through Bumblebee. I think that is another way to do it. I think in a lot of ways, Hasbro's too scared to go back to the idea that Optimus Prime can change colors. Armada Optimus Prime being a dark blue, I think it is, really opened up Hotshot to becoming red, and having that Hot Rod homage to his deco. Energon Optimus Prime is a lot of black, blue, and white. It doesn't actually have much red in it, if memory serves correctly. I haven't touched that toy in God knows how long. But Hotshot, if I remember correctly, didn't get a Hot Rod style deco in that series either. But anyway, that's two ways I think you could use Hot Rod in current Transformers. You either need to cast Bumblebee aside, or have Hot Rod, or have Bumblebee become Hot Rod. I don't think it works any other way. But there's a lot of characters in Transformers that I think are kind of superfluous, and really only anyone thinks about or wants is because my G1 collection. They're not actually wanted. Like, I collect Masters of the Universe as well, and a character like Dragstore, right? I can't imagine anyone anywhere ever really cares about Dragstore, but a lot of people are going to want it because they want a complete Origins collection, and a complete Origins collection can also be, for some people, such as myself, a complete original run updated to the Origins articulation. Same's going to be for a lot of Transformers. No one actually wants them because they like the character, they like the toy, etc., etc. It's going to be for completionist sake. I'm not sure that's a good reason to keep anything around, but it is a reason. Yeah, you need to rethink how you do everything to make Hot Rod work. Um, he can't work by himself. Now, I do think there is a definite argument for Transformers entertaining the idea of a spin-off series that's honestly a bit more like Thundercats, where you start with Hot Rod in charge, but he's young, he's inexperienced, and he gradually learns through doing and becomes Rodimus through some memes, and has his own core cast. I don't think it has to be the movie cast. Can be, but don't think it has to be. And has his own adventures. I think that's kind of what Animated was going for. Forgot for a second that Hot Rod was in Animated. So let's talk about Rodimus Prime. I think more people like the idea of Rodimus Prime rather than actually liking Rodimus Prime. They like Hot Rod, they like Hot Rod a lot, and that influences how they feel about Rodimus Prime. Uh, a lot of that has to do with how the cartoon depicts Rodimus, but I think also the alt mode has a lot to do with it too. And that's what I want to touch on more, because I don't think you can actually fix the alt mode. I really don't. Not while keeping the spirit of the character. The original alt mode is that Bison, that concept truck, and it's a truck that suspiciously, to modern eyes, looks like a motorhome, a Winnebago. It's not cool. It's not enticing anyone to buy it. It's also unlike Optimus, which has a little bit of play value with, a truck turning with the trailer coming after it. This is just one solid slab of plastic when you put it together. That's not fun. It actually reduces the play value. So it is inherently a lesser toy. It's also just kind of silly looking. Uh, I kind of appreciate it for what it is, but I'll also accept it's silly looking. Now, Energon tried to address Rodimus Prime with a sports truck thing with huge boots. Now, that design I think is a lot more liked, uh, but I will say this. You have to remember that that form is informed. Sorry, you have to remember that that design is informed by Energon's play features, the power links combining. It's got no reason to look like that without power links. You could stray from it and you'd be perfectly fine. I actually think you should take echoes from it, but not be it. I don't think it is the solution to Rodimus Prime. Now, I think there's a big discussion whether Rodimus Prime has to be a truck. Star Saber is probably more well liked as a toy than Rodimus Prime, despite the fact less people are familiar with it. Only because the spaceship slash jet fighter, whatever it is, I'm not entirely sure what Star Saber's meant to be, but it's a lot cooler looking. It's got more play value. You can whoosh around a plane, etc., etc. It's just got more going for it inherently. The whole evolution gimmick works. I really don't know why we didn't get a version of this toy in Power of the Primes. I think it would have fit. It actually would have fit a lot of lines. Probably should have been a commander class. I know would have had to been cut back, but I think that would have been perfectly okay. I mean, the masterpiece exists for a reason. But third parties have also made me think a little bit about Rodimus being a truck. Specifically, Fans Hobby doing their redeco of their naval commander. I'm not totally familiar with third party. I don't buy them. They're outside my price range, so bear with me. But that toy, I'll have a picture of it on the screen now. It's it works. It works in a way that you'd never expect. I think it's because Armada Optimus Prime does have some visual similarities to Hot Rod natively because of the exhausts on the forearms and the sides of the truck. The long nose truck, the monster truck thing, is actually cool. I think in some ways, if you gave it a different trailer, uh, maybe something a bit more not not a super mode, but again the combat bay thing. I think it might actually work. I think if you took even if Hasbro were to take that concept, make a pre-tool for Bendy Prime, just make it have more hot rod curves to it, or take on aspects from Energon Rodimus Prime. I think that could genuinely work because the fans hobby toy is cool. It's something that just like you said and you're like, wow, that works way better than I expected. I never expected the Bendy Prime mold, which is basically what that is, to wear Hot Rod's deco so well, and it does. If you put more echoes of Energon Rodimus Prime, I think you got something. I think again, if you did the trailer, you'd have to do a base to differentiate it from um, Optimus Prime Super Mode from Armada. You'd have to also differentiate it from the Armada trailer, but that's a different kettle of fish. That's the place for leader class, I think, because I think you'd do Bendy Prime as a Voyager. There's also another thing I was thinking about. If we're going to go with a long nose truck for Rodimus, there's also the idea of modifying Laser Prime. Now, Rodimus is now, with this toy, is associated with a sword. Hot Rod used a lightsaber briefly in the movie, which I think is an homage to a scene from Star Wars A New Hope. And Hot Shot, of course, used the Star Saber. So, Laser Prime having a sword, it fits. Maybe retool the chest so it's more Rodimus-y. Because I forget. No, the stomach doesn't become the grill. So you could do something with the chest and stomach to reference, to make it more like Rodimus Prime. Probably do something with the pylons, definitely change the head. And you could probably make something a bit more Rodimus-y out of Laser Prime. And again, give it a different trailer because you want it to be a different toy. Yeah. That's another choice that I thought of while I was thinking about how that toy worked. And it's not like Laser Prime hasn't been known for a flame deco. Hot Rod has a flame deco. It could work out. I actually like the idea of Laser Prime in movie Prime colors. I've seen think it was a digibash of Titans Returns Optimus Prime, and that looks great in movie Prime colors. Hasbro should really experiment more with long nose Optimus Primes in movie Prime deco. It works, but yeah, I'm actually really curious where the comments go with this one. Where you would take Rodimus Prime, whether you think the whole space Bison slash Winnebago slash fat sports car is what Hot Rod is, and it shouldn't be changed, or he should be addressed to make actually work and give some oomph, some cool factor, uh, actually have a presence beyond this, because this ain't cool. I like it more than I probably should, because Hot Rod's one of my favorite characters, but and I actually do because I didn't see G1 properly, till, let alone season 3, till I was in my teens. I was of the age that could relate to Rodimus Prime, but yeah, I don't think that's over with kids. Yeah, so where would you take it? Would you go with this? Would you go with Armada Bendy Prime, or with maybe some new trailer to differentiate it from Supermode Optimus Prime? Would you go with modified Laser Prime? You can also, with each of these toys, modify them to have more of Hot Rod's slick shape. You could put the fins, or at least deco influences of them, onto the trailer. I know you lose a lot of Rodimus's design influences, but that's not, especially again that fin on the trailer, on the back of the robot mode. It's not like Energon Optimus Prime, Energon Rodimus Prime, I should say, didn't lose that fin. It didn't have the fin on the back either, and it's still recognizably Rodimus Prime. And it's not like if you put the fin on the trailer on the back of it, like a visual accessory, and maybe made it, uh, you could detach it from the vehicle mode, I mean, the trailer, and put it on the robot mode if you really wanted. That is a choice option, but it's not really part of the design. You, that's something that could be done. Yeah, but I'll leave the video here. I think there was some other things I wanted to discuss, but I should have taken notes. It's been a long day. I had to pre-order Rio Blast this morning from Metal Creds, so I've been up quite a long time. But again, I'm looking forward to your comments. I'll try to get around to all of them. Till next time, friends, this has been Eric from Toys Down Under, and thanks for watching.